Hello everyone, as every day, I am here with the breaking news. Russia-Ukraine War. List of key events, Day 241. As the Russia-Ukraine War enters its 241st day, we take a look at the main developments. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. To convey better information to you, please subscribe to the channel for free and like and comment on the video. Now we can move on to the details. Russia has accused Ukraine of rocketing the Nova Kakhovka Dam and planning to destroy it in what Ukrainian officials called a sign that Moscow might blow it up and blame Kyiv. Neither side produced evidence to back up their allegations. To Ukrainian soldiers entrenched north of Kherson, a drop-off in Russian shellfire and armor movements signal that their foes dug into a nearby tree line are suffering serious manpower, supply and hardware woes. Russian air attacks have hit at least half of Ukraine's thermal generation capacity, causing billions of dollars of damage since October 10, though not all power units have stopped working completely, Ukraine's energy minister said. The Ukrainian energy minister said he saw no signs of progress towards a deal involving Russia, Ukraine and the UN nuclear watchdog on resolving the situation at the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. Ukraine is taking down 85% of Iranian-made kamikaze drones fired by Russia but needs its allies' support to prevent Tehran from selling Moscow ballistic missiles, an Air Force spokesperson said. Britain, France and Germany called for a United Nations probe of accusations Russia has used Iranian-origin drones to attack Ukraine, in what they said was a violation of a UN Security Council resolution. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu spoke for the first time since May. A top Russian diplomat said the call was needed to eliminate misunderstandings, TASS news agency reported. The Pentagon declined to offer specifics beyond saying that Austin, who initiated the conversation, emphasized a need for lines of communication. The United States will consider every means to advance diplomacy with Russia if it sees an opening, but at the moment Moscow shows no sign of willingness to engage in meaningful talks, U.S. Secretary of State Blinken said. Economy Kyiv accused Russia of deliberately delaying the passage of ships carrying grain exports under a UN-brokered deal, and said 150 vessels were waiting to be loaded. An International Monetary Fund team held productive discussions with Ukrainian authorities and will work in coming weeks on their request for enhanced program monitoring in the wake of Russia's invasion, IMF Mission Chief Gavin Gray said. U.S. Russia defense chiefs discuss Ukraine war in rare phone call. Few details have emerged of Friday's conversation, but both sides confirmed discussing the Ukraine war in the conversation. United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has held a rare telephone call with his Russian counterpart Sergei Shoigu, with the Ukraine war featuring in the talks, according to the Defense Ministry from both countries. The Pentagon on Friday declined to offer specifics beyond saying that Austin, who initiated the conversation, emphasized a need for lines of communication amid the war in Ukraine. Topical issues of international security, including the situation in Ukraine, were discussed, said Russia's defense ministry. Few details emerged of Friday's conversation, only the second call between the ministers since Moscow invaded Ukraine on February 24. Back in May, Austin had urged Moscow to implement an immediate ceasefire. The call comes as pro-Kremlin officials in Ukraine's east said they were turning the country's southern city of Kherson into a fortress as Kyiv's forces advance. Ukraine said on Friday it had retaken a total of 88 towns and villages in the region since launching its offensive to retake Kherson in September. Kyiv's forces in recent weeks, aided by Western weapons, have been advancing along the west bank of the Dnieper River towards the region's main city Kherson. Ukraine's push in the south comes after a sweeping counteroffensive in the northeast Kharkiv region that has badly impaired Russia's supply routes and logistics corridors in the eastern Donbass region. Russia doubling down on its aggression. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Washington had seen no evidence that Russia is interested in ending its aggression towards Ukraine, and instead was doubling and tripling down. However, Austin said the U.S. would stay in contact with Russia. We have seen no evidence of that at this moment. On the contrary, we see Russia doubling and tripling down on its aggression, Blinken told a joint news conference with French Foreign Minister Catherine Colonna. Russia attacks, horrific. Blinken pointed to Russia's recent attacks on power stations and other civilian infrastructure in Ukraine and the mobilization of troops who Blinken called, horrifically, cannon fodder that Putin is trying to throw into the war. The fundamental difference is that Ukrainians are fighting for their country, their land, their future. Russia is not, and the sooner President Putin understands that and comes to that conclusion, the sooner we will be able to end this war, Blinken said. Meanwhile, Ukraine's energy minister said that Russian air attacks have hit at least half of Ukraine's thermal generation capacity, causing billions of dollars of damage since October 10, though not all those power units have stopped working completely. German Galashenko told the Reuters news agency that Ukraine may need electricity imports to get through the winter after attacks that had struck 30 to 40% of power infrastructure, and traders were already holding negotiations with suppliers. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Friday urged the West to warn Russia not to blow up a dam in southern Ukraine that would cause severe flooding. Russia has accused Ukraine of rocketing the dam and planning to destroy it in what Kyiv officials called a sign Russia might blow it up and blame Ukraine. On Saturday morning, the enemy hit 2 objects of critical infrastructure in Mykolaiv region, 1 more in Odessa and 1 in Kirovohrad, the Operational Command Pivden, South, reports. In the morning, the enemy launched a massive strike from the Black Sea with high-precision caliber missiles at critical infrastructure facilities in Ukraine. In the southern regions, 4 such objects were hit, 1 in Odessa and Kirovohrad regions, and 2 in Mykolaiv. In Odessa region, 3 people were injured. Details are being clarified for other objects, it said in a Facebook post. During this attack, air defense forces shot down 4 cruise missiles over Odessa region, 1 over Mykolaiv. Ukraine receives TRML-4D multifunction radar from Germany. German sensor specialist Hensoldt announced that it is supplying 4 of its high-performance radars in record time for Diehl Defense's Iris TSLM air defense system, which is designed to strengthen Ukraine's defense capability. According to a press release from Hensoldt, as part of an order from Diehl Defense worth a 2-digit million euro sum, 1 of the TRML-4D radars has already been delivered, with 3 more to follow within a few months. Thanks for listening. See you the next video.